Well, it is September the 20th, and a week from tomorrow, archery season in Tennessee opens. It's a Friday. Somehow I was able to get off work today, and I was actually gonna go scout some public, and we still may, but I let it get a little late on me. I had to run a few errands. But I come over here to where I planted my food plot the last couple years, and the food plot's going to be terrible this year. So I'm sure when you see us hunting over it later, it's going to be pretty bad compared to how good it was last year. I planted it originally first part of August, and it sat there for over 2 weeks before we got any kind of rain. And then about 2 weeks ago, well, no, about a week and a half ago, I come in and seeded in the bare spots with oats and a clover mix, mainly for next spring. And then, I'm trying to think, maybe some brassicas. And it had some winter wheat, some different things. So I'm hoping if nothing else, those oats will come up. They'll pretty much grow on gravel, in my experience. But it's been sitting there for a week and a half, and we haven't got the first drop of rain yet, so it's not looking too good for the food plot. So, but I wanted to come over here and pull 2 camera cards. I don't think there'll be a buck that I want to hunt. This is kind of where I kill my does. I think we've killed 5 in 2 years. And we still have some. Probably won't kill but maybe 1 or 2 this year. But I want to do a little scouting because there's some bucks here this year. Not that I would kill, but my buddy from work that I brought out here, and he killed his first deer with a gun. He's going to be bow hunting with a crossbow this year. So I kind of want to scout, maybe get an idea of where those bucks are living, because they're showing up enough on camera that they are living here or real close. So I don't expect the food plot to have anything. We haven't had any rain, so let's see if we can run across some good sign at least. Well, about not last year, the year before, I wasn't able to get it on film that evening, but this stand right up there, I killed 2 does in the same evening within about 20 minutes of each other. Right here, this little ridge right here, this is what I call the middle ridge. This property's only 40 acres. It's the biggest one I have permission to hunt, one of only 2. But it's very steep and rugged. There's bears, but it's been a good spot. Seen a lot of action right here. It might be hard to make out, but there's a bed right there facing down the hill, and that hang-on stand I showed you guys is about 80 to 100 yards right down here. That's why we're doing this. I saw a fresh little rub, I guess losing their velvet, about 50 yards over this way. For whatever reason, I didn't film it. There was some fresh droppings too, so I'm gonna keep looking right here. It's a bed. started following one of these little logging roads out these steep ridges. Most of them are so thick you can't get down. But I picked that out as a bed. This right here is well. Most likely does, but I'm gonna keep following it out. I'm gonna mark this on the GPS. Anytime you put some pieces together about where they're bedding, it could really help. Obviously it would be hard to get in right here and hunt, but you can hunt at the mouth of either end of this little logging road. It's by far the most accessible road other than the main trail that goes around the property. That bed's being used at least fairly often. Another bed. Another bed right there. Look at that trail right there. That's an amazing trail right there. If this logging road ends right here, it looks like it's going to. If it does, we might have to follow that trail out. God, look at that. That thing's being used a lot. This would be a really good spot to put a cell cam. Guarantee you would pick up some bucks right here. Maybe not necessarily living right here. Definitely during the rut. Oh, deer. It's a buck. It's not even looking straight at me. Well, that was pretty sweet. I don't know if it'll make the video, but I was walking out through there and I just found that bed, and I was about 60 yards back, and I just come across that heavily cut trail in the side of that ridge, and it was leaving my mouth as I jumped those deer that this would be a really good place for a cell cam. This little logging road bench with all this sign on it, because I feel like even if not now, during the rut, you'd be able to catch some bucks. And we've had a few big bucks show up during the rut, but I'm never here to hunt it. But I no more than got that out of my mouth and jumped those deer. But we're gonna walk over here and check those beds out. But looking back, right there where that trail it was, there's a rub right there. Right there. If you'll notice, those deer were bedded right out here. And look, there's a trail, and that actually explains a lot, because this property is made up of 3 ridges basically, So if you're standing at the food plot looking up, there's the right ridge, there's the middle ridge, which is what I'm on, and the ridge over to the left is actually where the landowner's house is. But we've always seen rubs in between the left and the middle ridge, between the house and this ridge I'm on, which makes sense now because all these beds right here. There's also a lot of sign generally coming down the logging road on the right ridge, but I think a deer can hide a little better right here. This makes perfect sense, man. There's some hunting pressure on both sides, this side more than any other. Perfect, man. Let's get out here and take a look at these beds, see if it's something that's being used a lot. I didn't get a good look at those deer. It looked like there was 4 of them. It looked like, obviously, that one I filmed really, really well. He's actually a pretty nice buck. I've got pictures of him in the food plot. But that would be a great deer for John Boy. There's also a real short-tined, I think, 8-pointer, a little bigger frame than him. But if for some reason I get to hunt during the rut this year, this information will go to use. This trail is incredible. Look at that, right? Just straight up. That buck I was filming, I think he was down here somewhere in this green stuff. But there was some up the hill from him. They were just kind of scattered out right through here. So we're going to go look. I'd say, look, this is actually a bed right here. Look. Right there. This real steep, rugged country, it's very predictable. Well, it's pretty predictable on where they're going to be bedded. Those deer are bedded right here because of, I don't know if you noticed where I was walking through earlier. It's very, very thick. And if you look around, it's pretty open. I mean, it's pretty open right here. And I think that would be a good thing for them, especially in this scenario, because they can see a little bit. But you always hear top third. You can see the top right there. You can see the bottom way down there. So it's probably between a half and a third. But then you can kind of predict where the beds are going to be, because anytime, I mean, they need something flat to lay on. You can see this is a depression that I'm in. So we'll see how good I am. I'm going to pick out what looks to be beds from right here. So if I was betting, we're probably going to find one like right there. You can see a little flat spot maybe, like right there. Potentially on the back side of that root ball. Then right down here, near that little down tree, if I was betting. Look. This trail is so good. Look right there. Trail going out through there. So, from right here where they're at, you can see the top. There is a four-wheeler road that goes across the top. If I was to come in the evening and access from that way towards the house, which I have done before, they're gonna get you. Winds. I don't have my milkweed. I wasn't really prepared to do this, but that wind's coming over the top, getting them. You'd be busted. The only way you could do this is to do just like I did today, because I got pretty close. I mean, I was 80 yards probably, and it was just because they saw me. But you're gonna have to hunt the exit trails. But they can see clear to the bottom right there. Look, you got old scat. I mean, this, yeah, that's definitely gonna be a bed. That is a good bed. Look, there's one right there. Well, we're right here where those deer were. You can see this is a great bed. That bed's being used more than just this year. So standing right here, you can see another one right there. I mean, exactly what you would expect. So we're just gonna crouch right here in this bed. And if we look, so there's a trail I come up, and right down there's that logging road. That's about where they spotted me. So you've also got an exit trail right here. And then right there. It's pretty cool stuff. Bed's being used a lot, but I'm gonna check out these exit trails, especially this one that goes that way, because I can actually get them that way. It's a bed right there. I have a feeling that's right where he was laying. Well, I found where that buck was. Man, I'm not lying. This is some of the best bedding I've found, and it totally makes sense. Other than me doing this right now. And right there. Other than me doing this right now, nobody messes with them right here. They're off all the main four-wheeler trails and everything. It's pretty amazing. I want to say too that we got a week from tomorrow's season, so I don't recommend anybody doing this, but these are all this is a freebie for me, because I'm pretty confident there's not a buck in here that I would shoot. But big but, this is information that I could use closer to the rut when we get some new stuff showing up, or if I run cameras down there in the food plot. This is I can use that information, or this information, if I pick up a buck down there that's a shooter, because you can tell by looking at this. These beds are getting used a lot by more than just these deer. So I'm going to scout these exit trails real quick, both directions, and see what I can find out. See if I can find places we can set up. another bed. Well, I dropped down one logging road from the one I come in on when I jumped those deer. There's just beds all over. These are probably doe beds, but there was one out at the end of this logging road that looked like a buck bed, but you don't know. The thing is there's just beds everywhere. If I was a deer and I was a buck, though, I would prefer those beds that I jumped the deer out of, just because I'd have a little bit of visibility. But it's interesting. You tell as deer have browsed stuff in here, like they're walking down this logging road fairly frequently. What's cool is most of these little logging roads like this you can't walk down, but there was a few that I took off with that weed eater a couple years ago and cleared them out, thinking that it would make things a little more huntable. And the deer are definitely using it, and it does give us some options we didn't have previously to hunt. So the sweat equity does pay off. Well, this is our last stop of the day. Not really a scouting mission, but we'll pull 2 cards real quick. Be the last pull till hunting season. This is the spot I generally kill my bucks at, but it seems like it's a down year. That's a pretty good rub for here. I just jumped like a little 1.5-year-old buck. He was bedded up right here. That's why I wanted to go ahead and just do this card pull. Give it 7-8 days to recover. There's all types of oaks in here, but there's a lot of white oaks, and it looks like they're having a pretty good year. There's oaks all in here, which I'm actually in the side that has the cattle right now. I'm a little worried because a tree's fallen and messed this fence up. The hunting would be better if the fence wasn't there, but I don't want to see the cattle get over. But these oaks down here where the cows are really producing well, so I'd say they'll be hopping onto the cattle side and eating these oaks. Let's get down here and pull this card real quick and get out of here before prime time hits. Pretty cool. You can see where turkeys have been dusting right there. That rub's got a decent amount of height to it. It's good to know. Alright, so we're out of here. For whatever reason I didn't film it, but I did find at least 2 scrapes. Okay. 3 scrapes. It's crazy. I didn't end up moving that camera. Probably should have, but I didn't want to move it and then I check it I checked this card and it's got a bunch of bucks on it or something, so we'll play the patience game. There's one buck, just one buck that I know of that I would kill. I have a feeling a lot of that signs by that little 1.5 or 2.5 year old bucks I've had on camera the last couple weeks on the cell cam. I really need to move that cell cam, but I didn't bring a drill and all that stuff. I've got it lack bolted to a tree. Looks like there was a lot of people hunting this ground rifle season last year. I found a climber on the neighbor's side. You could see it over the fence. And then a blind on the property I can hunt. But let's head home and look at these pictures. If there's anything worth sharing, I'll attach it to the video. I know this isn't the most exciting video, but kind of maybe give you some backstory when it comes time to hunt here in about a week or so. Later.